Oh, hi biology students, Mrs. Piketowski here. I am going to walk you through a resource that I hope is going to be very helpful to you as you complete this biology research project, which I know you already have started to work on and will be a commitment for pretty much the whole year. So join me, and as always, feel free to pop into the ILC or send me an email if you have any additional questions, okay? The resource I'm going to be showing you is a LibGuide, which you can access by visiting the ILC website at lakesilc.weebly.com. You also can access this page through the Lakes High School homepage. Then I'm going to highlight the research menu, select LibGuides, and then scroll down the list to Biology Research Project. If you want to get there faster, you can just type in libguides.chsd117.org/bio. Here we are at the Biology Research Project homepage, and in case you have never visited a LibGuide before, they are very easy to navigate. As you can see, they are divided into tabs based on several areas related to research. This is the homepage where you are able to find the handouts for all of the checkpoints, as well as an overview sheet for this entire project. And over here is where this video I'm recording right now is going to go. The first tab for research is the one we're going to spend the most time on today, but just know that we might be focusing on interviewing a little bit later. I think when you get to checkpoint number 6, feel free to explore it early if you would like. Project ideas, which this might come more into play toward the end of the semester or early next semester. And then also some resources related to APA style, because that is the style you likely are going to be using for this project. I also linked to Purdue OWL. It is my favorite website when it comes to all things APA or MLA style. Any question you have, the answer is here. So take a look at those resources, but again, let's return to the research tab. We'll be spending most of our time on this today. The research tab reminds you about all the different types of sources you might explore for this research project, one of them being books. This little box right here is just a quick reminder that we have books in the library. Some of them might relate to your topic, so feel free to check the catalog or ask Mrs. P, which is me, or Mrs. Kent. We're happy to help. We also have a list of several databases that might be helpful for you for this project. There are some websites that are credible and informative for certain topics, depending on what yours is, and then some internet search strategies, which again, this box is also divided into tabs. Starting with the databases, just a reminder that if you're working at Lakes High School, in general, you do not need a password. However, if you are working outside of Lakes High School, then you will want to remember that this exists. This is a link to a spreadsheet that is attached to your Lakes Google account, and it provides you with all of the passwords that you might need to work in a database off campus. So remember that that is there for you. In general, the username is SD117 and the password is library. However, there are some exceptions. The first database I want to explore is Gale Powersearch, and that is because many of you are very early in your research. You have very broad topics. Gale Powersearch is great because it has this magical search bar that actually searches 5 databases all at once. That is something you can explore in your own time, but I do want to show you the topic finder right here. If you click on this and type in some keywords or a keyword or key phrase that relates to the broader topic that you're exploring at this time, what the topic finder does when you click on the search button is show tiles or a wheel visualization that breaks down that larger topic, marine biology, because by the way, when I was younger, I wanted to be a marine biologist, but it breaks it down into subtopics. And this is a good place to visit if you're still trying to narrow down your focus or just explore quickly some other areas related to that broader topic of, again, in my case, marine biology. When you click on a subtopic, it's either going to break it down into more subtopics or it is going to bring up a series of articles that relate to that topic over here on the right-hand side. Some of these articles you might end up using as sources in your checkpoint. That would be up to you. You obviously can click into the article in order to access it, and then utilize some of these tools, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about later, to either save the citation or save the article itself or annotate it. So that is Gale Powersearch. Keep it in mind. I also want to talk about Science in Context. This is a great database for all topics related to science. This database also offers some experiment ideas for those of you later on in this project who decide that you'd like to do some sort of experiment instead of a paper. Science in Context, like I said, focuses obviously on the sciences, and again is a great place to go if you are just beginning to explore a topic like marine biology. What it will do when you search marine biology is, well, in this case I have quotes and I might not need those. Let's see what happens. It might come up with some suggested subtopics for you to explore, and additionally it will divide all of the articles based on the type of article you might find. As you can see, there are a variety of content types, from articles that you will read to images that you might view to audio recordings that you could listen to, etc., etc. Okay, typically when you choose a subtopic, so for instance coral reefs, it will come up with a landing page that offers an encyclopedia type overview of that topic of coral reefs. And again, it has broken the broader topic of marine biology down into coral reefs and down further into different types of content over here, which you can quickly access simply by clicking on one of the content types. If you find an article that looks like it might be relevant for your research, you can click on it and again read it right here in the database. You also can click on the citation tool in order to easily copy and paste the APA citation, which right now automatically I am going to be pasting onto my reference list. I like to kind of work as I go, and I can always update this and reformat it later. I also can save this article to my Google Drive by simply clicking that button, logging into Google. It will tell me it has been sent to Google, and now if I go into my drive and scroll down, it will have created a folder for me called Science and Contest and even made it orange. How nice. And here is that article that I just saved. And now I can use the Google Doc tools to read and annotate if I'd like. Whoops. So you can highlight and then add some comments over in the margin. That keeps happening, I don't know why. Also new this year, as we've gone one-to-one, there is an extension called Google Read and Write. Perhaps you've used it before. It should automatically be installed on your device, but if it's not, you can install this extension. It looks like a purple puzzle piece, and when you click on that extension, it will pop up all kinds of nifty tools that will make the annotation process easier, perhaps even the reading process easier. For example, the screen mask, you can use it to sort of focus in on your reading a little bit more easily. Up to you if you want to try that out or not. So that's Google Read and Write. Here I am back at that article. There are a variety of other tools that you can utilize, but those are my two favorites, the citation tools and Send to Google Drive. That just helps me to stay organized, and I can retrieve it very easily later to read in a quieter place like my bedroom at home, so I can absorb the information and annotate it better. In Science and Context and in any of the databases, once you have narrowed down your topic a little bit more, I recommend using the advanced search, which is this magnifying glass up here. The reason is because, as you can see, simply by searching coral reefs, it came up with quite a few articles, probably an overwhelming amount. I can't possibly read 427 magazine articles. Well, I guess I could, but I don't really have time for that. Same thing, 606 academic journals. That's a lot to sift through. But when you use the advanced search, you are able to filter your search even more to get to more specific and relevant information. So let's pretend that in my initial investigation of coral reefs, I have decided that coral reef spawning is the area I'd really like to tackle for this research project. I can add the keyword spawning, toggle the drop down to keyword. So now I have 2 keywords or phrases that I'm searching. And if I keep this at the word and, what it's doing is telling the database to search for only articles that have the words coral reef and spawning in them. Not one or the other, but both. You further can filter in many other ways, such as by publication date, which is usually pretty popular. And once you have set all your criteria, you can click search. And now, as you can see, I have a more relevant search. I only have more relevant and less overwhelming. I only have 3 news articles, 10 academic journal articles instead of 606, and 5 magazine articles. So keep the advanced search tool in mind, again, in any database, not just science and context. I do want to talk about one more database, though as you can see, there are several that you have access to here, but the other one I want to show you is Jstor. The reason, well, there's a few reasons. One of them being that if you are somebody who is probably college bound, Jstor is certainly a database that you will be using in college. Additionally, while Science in Context and those other databases are great for newspaper articles, magazine articles, etc., the Jstor provides journal articles that were written by experts. So whereas newspaper and magazine articles tend to be written by journalists who interview experts, the journal articles themselves are written typically by researchers, professors, the actual individuals who are conducting the experiments, who are the experts in the field. These journal articles also tend to be a little bit more in depth than the magazine articles, which can be a little overwhelming. However, all of the information that you will need is going to be in the journal articles, whereas newspaper and magazine articles sometimes can leave you wanting more. If you're working at home and you are logging into Jstor, you're going to click on this link that says log into my account. I show you this because there are many access points for logging in. It's confusing. Once you click on log into my account, here where it says my Jstor username, you're going to type in Lakes Eagles, and then the password is researchers, which again is on that spreadsheet I showed you earlier. But just to demonstrate how to get logged in. Then, very much like Science in Context, you can start with your broad search, type in marine biology, and it will return a whole host of results. So 115,000 journal articles, 236 books, etc. Again, rather overwhelming, so I would encourage you to use the advanced search option where I can type in those same, look, you can see I've been practicing, those same keywords, and then type in search. And there are still quite a few articles for me to sift through. However, there are fewer. And again, in the advanced search screen, you always can continue to add to your criteria to further narrow down your search. In Jstor, you can download the article as a PDF, which you then can upload to your Google Drive if that's how you like to stay organized. That's how I like to stay organized. You also can click on the button to cite the item and copy and paste the APA citation, once again, right into your reference list. Just to give you an example of what it might feel like to read the article right in Jstor. Basically, these are scanned pages of the actual journals and books where this information is coming from. So it might be a little bit more difficult to read this way. You also could print the articles or a part of the article, depending on what is relevant to you, in order to annotate and absorb the information. So that's Jstor for you. A reminder to check out some of these websites. They might be helpful, but otherwise I am sure many of you are going to rely on our good friend Google to find information. totally okay, but take a look at some of these tips in order to get to the information that is going to be most relevant to you. I'm especially a fan of this Google searching tutorial. It helps you to find the best information, the most credible information, just by adding a couple of quick search criteria to the search bar. So for instance, here I am searching marine biology in Google. Holy cow, 218 million results. That's way too much. But if I type in and coral reef, and I put some quotes around these just to tell Google that this is a phrase I want to search, not two individual words, and spawning, now I only have 102,000 results. Finally, you can add this little trick, which is cite:/space.gov, hit enter, and now there are only 161 results, much less overwhelming to go through. And as we know, .gov sites tend to be sites that we can view as credible and reliable sources. So take a look at all of the different little tips that you can use in Google in order to narrow down your search. I hope this LibGuide is helpful throughout your research process this whole year. And again, feel free to come see me if I can be of any assistance. Good luck, students. Bye.